Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Charlie Morgan here and welcome to another video for the YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to talk to you about a little bit of a trick for emotional management. I'm not sure what the title of this video will be, but if you stick around to the end, you will now understand a pretty core premise for anyone starting a business or running a business, doing anything at all really in life. And I found this to be really helpful. And if you can do this, then you'll make hitting your goals and achieving the outcome you want a lot easier. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Charlie. I've built and scaled one seven-figure and a multi-seven-figure business in the online agency and coaching space, and now I help other people do the same thing, and this YouTube channel is a vehicle for me to tell you a little bit about what I've learned along the way, and I've learned what I'm going to share with you today, so I thought I'd share it. Now, when you start a company, or when you start embarking on a project, or when you start doing something in business, it's usually born out of optimism, right? And you're probably feeling pretty good. And I was talking to a client of ours yesterday, and he was hopping into a niche. He had his service ready, and he had this really strong level of optimism and excitement. I could just hear it in his voice. Very apparent that he was irrationally emotional about the situation. Now, it's an understandable situation because the situation he's currently in financially doesn't really lend too well to him being happy. And the prospect of breaking free of that and having a clear path that we've given him to actually eradicate that pain and enter the world of pleasure, basically, from a financial perspective, he felt pretty damn good. But there's a big problem with feeling good. There's a big problem with positive emotion. And I'm not here to tell you that you have to be depressed all the time. That really is not what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is we're going to use two examples here. When you start a business or when you start a project, so let's say you've got, let's say you start an outreach campaign or system, you start building a system for outreach, or you hop into a new niche, or you start a new business. When you do that, your optimism and your hope levels are really high, because you wouldn't do something and embark on something if you didn't think it was going to work. And when you think it's going to work, like, you assume you're going to get the outcome from what you're doing, and so that makes you feel pretty positive, pretty good. The problem is that you're going to run into really serious problems when you're trying to do anything of anything, right? Any sort of value that you're trying to add to your life, you're going to run into issues and pain and struggle. And the problem is, so let's say you start a business, or let's say you start an outreach campaign. Your levels of optimism, hope, faith, confidence, and happiness are going to be pretty high, right? Because you're obviously expecting it to work. And you're up here, right? And this is, let's just say this is the ground, right? This here denotes, like, the ground, or whatever you'd call it. When you start and you're up here and you've got all this positive emotion, when you run into a problem that hinders or slows down your ability to get the outcome that's actually produced a positive emotion, then you're going to fall, right? And so the higher you are up here emotionally, the more distance you have to fall to the ground when something goes wrong. So what you want to do is you kind of really want to delay the gratification of celebration until you've actually accomplished the thing that you're trying to achieve. Because failure to do that will mean that any problem that arises, you now perceive with an extreme level of negative emotion. Because emotions by their nature correct themselves, right? So if you're up here, and this is sort of like baseline rationality, right, of just not really experiencing any emotion about anything, apathy you could call it, but like productive apathy, rational apathy. What happens is you're up here, you're doing the thing, let's say you start doing your outreach, you think you're going to book loads of meetings, and then suddenly you don't book any meetings at all, and you find out that outreach is a pain in the arse, and it really sucks, and you're not enjoying it. Well, what happens is, because you were so far up emotionally, you now have to fall all of this distance to the bottom, and when you hit the bottom, you break your emotional legs, and you actually go below rationality, and you enter this state of negativity. And this thing here, it can go on and on and on, and it can really end. It doesn't end, right? How much negative emotion or how much neuroticism actually, encapsulates you. And what I've observed is that the people that start with the highest level of positive emotion will fall to the lowest levels of negative emotion when they run into problems. And so this is really it's really a case for rationality, and like, you have to keep your emotions in check, because positive emotions feel good, negative emotions don't feel good. What that means is we try to avoid feeling negative emotions, and we try to encourage and bring towards us positive emotions. The problem with that is, like, you have to treat both with the same level of sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, but the same level of, like, skeptical management, I suppose. So like, because most people see negative emotions and pain, and they're like, oh, I need to learn how to manage this anxiety, I need to learn how to manage this depression, I need to learn how to overcome this worry or this stress. But they don't see the same thing happening. They don't perceive that the same cognitive neural process of irrationality is manifesting and localizing in their brain when they think of positive stuff. So like, let's say I started like this YouTube channel, right, for example, and like, let's say at the start of the YouTube channel, I feel great. I'm like, yeah, we've got YouTube. It's going to be amazing. I feel really pumped up. I'm positive. I'm excited. I'm happy. I can't wait. We're going to get loads of meetings from this. We're going to make loads of money from it. It's going to be amazing. Like, I'm right. Let's say I'm like right up here, like emotionally. Like, this also, by the way, doesn't really have much of a limit, right? But let's say I'm up here. I'm right at the ceiling of like feeling good about what I'm doing to accomplish the result I want. And then, you know, like, lo and behold, after like a month or two, I recognize that, oh shit, my first few videos have only got like 5 views. I've got no meetings. Nobody cares. That, like, if I'm up really high, I've got a long way to fall. But if I start at ground zero, right, then I don't fall, which means which means my emotions, they stay the same. So like the going from positive to negative emotion, going from optimism to like pessimism or neuroticism is like the lower you go below ground zero of apathy emotionally is dependent, it's like a mirror of how high you were in the first place. Because you don't just fall to rationality. You fall to rationality, you break all your bones, and then you slip off the cliff into some level of negative emotion. And then what happens is it's the negative emotion that it's a consequence of the positive emotion, because you set yourself up so high and you've fallen so far, and now like the contrast between thinking you were going to do really easy, what you had really easily so quickly, and then not having that manifest in the time frame you thought it was going to happen, the contrast of that is so extreme that it's just like you have no choice but to feel sad, right? And then out of sadment, that's definitely not a word. Out of sadness manifests discouragement, manifests anxiety, right? And it's really just a very dangerous game. So, in closing, let's say we'll give you one more example, right? What I found is that so I sell a program, right? We all do, right? It's great. It's good fun. I'm not here to sell it, don't worry. Well, obviously I am, but if you want to find more, you can click in the description, but that's not the purpose. But this is just a good, easy example. So we sell a program that helps agency owners, coaches and consultants with client acquisition, right, and sales. We're very fucking good at it. We've got over 200 clients. They love us, blah, blah, blah. But what I found is that people that join the program and have the strongest levels of hope actually fall the furthest, because while the program really helps and it's extremely easy to get results with the thing, there's still issues and there's still problems that people run into when using it, and that's just natural, right? I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's like this thing where it's all singing and dancing. Like that, it requires a lot of work, it requires a lot of pain. There's going to be setbacks with like cold emails and cold messaging, and you're going to have to do lots of shit. And like, you know, maybe you then take a sales call and the person's like, oh, I don't want to buy. And then you're like, I didn't anticipate that. I thought this would be easy, like client acquisition. Oh God, no. Like the people that come into the program with the most hope and the most optimism, they fall the furthest at the first sign of trouble or, you know, struggle. And we try and make that very clear to them when we join. We're like, look, you can sign clients really quickly, but it's going to really suck. And you're going to, like, you only got to watch my, one of my recent videos, which is called The Brutal Reality of Running an Agency. We're very, very fucking transparent in our nature. But my point is that you've got to recognize that like emotions are like, what are they like? They're like an elastic band, right? You can, let's say you've got the middle here, and you hold one piece and you ping it out and ping it out and ping it out and ping it out. There's only so much tension it can take before it snaps. And when it snaps, it's going to snap back over here for a while. If we slow mode that out, it will be like all the way over here. And slowly it will return unless you take it so far that when you ping it back, it snaps completely. And then you quit. You don't want to quit. So manage your emotions. Most people don't manage their emotions. Most people's emotions manage them. And if you are managed by your emotions, then you will not win, because irrationality does not lend itself well to business. Okay? So that's everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's more of a mindset one, as these videos tend to be. And I think mindset videos tend to be a lot more useful. People don't think they are, but 90% of business is mindset, and unfortunately people spend 10% of their time researching it and 90% of their time on business, so it's kind of ironic. But if you did enjoy this video, you can subscribe. If you also want to, you can like the video and also comment if you have anything to add. I'd appreciate it. Please do not turn the bell notification button on, because it would just distract you. It's another notification for you to worry about in your scattered brain. So just come and check back when I upload, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.